We got Germans trying to dump Bitcoin price right as things are starting to get good in their usual fashion. Unbelievable. We have a merger coming up within 3 major tokens that are creating a super token, setting the pace for the narrative of crypto markets, and some very dangerous information breaking this morning that is basically the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare. Welcome to the Blockchain Basement, powered by Arculus, joined by some amazing individuals. We have Isaac over here with his headphones still on the top of his head.
Yep.
It's like you're gonna get the indents from it, man.
I am, but it's okay because it's not on the top of my head.
Can you at least like document the process? You know, like start now, and then as you continue to hold the headphones on the head,
I'm gonna get a bald spot like right here and probably on the back of my head.
God.
Then therefore I'm gonna have to shave the entirety of my head,
dude,
and become a based bald crypto guy.
You gotta be careful with that hairdo, man. You don't want to mess up that hair. You got something going here. It's like the new age style. It's like the mop top. You know what I mean? It's like you don't care.
The mop
but
top started by
you're like
us.
rich enough to afford conditioner. You know. So you got that going for you. Morel, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for coming down. I know I'm always bugging you. I go
Having a
in-
thriving Thursday.
You're a pretty amazing individual, Morel. I gotta say, like,
I have my moments.
yeah, you have moments,
I have my
man.
moments.
You're a wizard when it comes. You're a, I got you in connection with this business. My wife is starting,
Yes.
and I'm just super thankful for all the help you're giving on the
Absolutely.
upswing. Like it's blowing up. She's got a lot of clients already. My wife opened up a sewing shop. With AVAX and ICP profits, we built a sewing shop, and now she's off and to the races with a money-making business. Owen on the sticks, just the G that he is. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Owen hooked me up with this knife just because he's a knife elitist, and I needed to know what it felt like to even be close to the knife elitism that he portrays. And, you know, he lives it, man. He goes to knife shows, comes back with like thousands of dollars of insane stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat for joining me. Appreciate all you guys for supporting the channel. Shady Bandito, James L. Tyler, F. Ukraine, Killed by Death, Robert Cosin, Kelly Kellum up in the chat. What is up, dude? Donald Sutherland passed. Oh man, that's sad to hear. Ducey, C90 FTW, Nicole Minstater, insufficient enough, of course. So we got some action on the markets. Now, if we just look at the top gainers, this is something that stuck out to me this morning. I was tweeting about it. A lot of these top gainers that you're looking at, the hardest to rebound are AI tokens, and a few of these are part of the super merger that is coming up for crypto. Very exciting times at large. But first, I'm going to give you my take on what I see just on the biggest news for Bitcoin, what might be driving this price action. And then we're going to have a very, very special guest joining us. Now this, MicroStrategy followed through, completed a $800 million offering of convertible notes at 2.25% coupon and a 35% conversion premium. They are stacking Bitcoin. MicroStrategy followed through with a $700,000 Bitcoin buy. Hong Kong trying to turn up the steam. Their Hong Kong ETFs are at around 4,000 Bitcoin as of now, but Australia lagging behind. They got the ETFs available. They've only stacked about 50 Bitcoin so far. This is highlighting Marty Party's data on this. And then we get this. The German government still selling Bitcoin, $195 million worth so far. In the past 2 hours, the German government sent $65 million in Bitcoin to a likely exchange deposits, including Coinbase. German government moved $600 million worth of BTC yesterday, sending 130 million BTC worth to 4 likely exchange deposits, including Kraken and Bitstamp. Right now, they still are sitting on $3.05 billion in Bitcoin. So they are dumping a little bit of their holdings. Now, a large part of these holdings is actually from a German police raid. They seized $2.1 billion in crypto from pirate movie website operators on January 31st of 2024. So Morrissey, that seems to be the mode of operandi for governments. You just go in, you seize the Bitcoin of the naughty actors, right? Deem them naughty.
Whatever happened to that woman in South Asia that was laundering like billions?
We need to find out about that. Like, I
remember
I don't remember. Do you remember her name?
I don't.
You should look it up because that's probably another situation, a government seizure of it. And, it is nice to see that at large, they still have $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. And originally they seized 2.1. They experienced some gains. They're taking some profits. Who can blame them, right? You get a bunch of free Bitcoin just from raiding someone, and then you sell it. This is a high D chess move. And Bitcoin really in this light of the sell-offs is still straight up ranging, you guys, on the 7-day. We're talking about a shelf from 66.7, and now we're playing around in the 65K realm. But at large, this thing is not wanting to give up. I want to get an expert opinion, someone that lives and breathes charts. You know what, Owen? Let's bring up Piano Matty B. I want to get Piano Matty B's opinion on this. Whoa, was that the double take? That's the double take. Look at this. It's not him. Your changery. Your changery. Something changed within it. We got to get him up on there. It's doubled up my imagery somewhere. I'm standing by. I want to, because Matty B is in the wings. I know he's in this computer somewhere. Yeah, we're gonna get this.
So she was sentenced to 6 years. She was from the UK, and she was doing real estate investments in China for, I think, $5.6 billion in fraud.
$5.6 billion in fraud.
Yep.
How much? And what was her name? Is it Jian Wen?
Jian Wen.
Okay, so Jian Wen, a UK woman, jailed for fraud in Asia, you say?
No, it was done in China.
Oh, done in China. Yeah. Okay. I wonder how much Bitcoin, who seized it? Did the UK or China get that?
I think it was the UK, and it was 61,000 Bitcoin.
61,000 Bitcoin. That's a good chunk of Bitcoin, dude. 61,000? This is kind of like a...
Interesting.
This is a repeating cycle. That's a lot of Bitcoin for a country to be just gobbling up. I mean, some of the biggest holders. What up, Matty B? Oh, hey, there he goes. Owen.
Damn it, Owen.
How you doing, brother? Good. Thanks for joining me, man. It's good to see you again, Matty.
Thanks for having me. I hope everything's okay down there in Georgia. How's everything going?
It's good. It's a little hot. Taking care of the chickens a little bit more cumbersome during these days. It's very humid. Your pants stick to your legs. You get hit in the face by bugs all the time. And I don't dare to go into Atlanta over the next 6 months because election season's coming up and Fannie Willis runs the show. So not really enjoying that area. I love my area, northwestern Georgia, though. It's going well. You're up in Canada, yeah?
Well, I was just thinking when I was driving home today from the squash club, I took a long steam, even though it's hot here. I was like, you know who's got it figured out? It's Drew. He has a piece of land in the boonies, so to speak. He's got food there to eat. He's got a ton of guns, like a ton of knives. I think that as we move forward, that's the way to go.
Well, dude,
I'm
it's
jealous.
I mean, you don't need to be jealous. I had to sacrifice so much of normalcy and the things that they tell you that you want to be part of the suburbs. They tell you that you need to be near infrastructure and people. It really I've been against that for about 10 years. It took a long time to get there. And crypto is really the only reason I was able to do so. So, and that's why my whole goal here on the Blockchain Basement is to get patriot-minded people interested in crypto, interested in Bitcoin, and just understanding it so they can take advantage of the market when they see that blood on the streets. And there's been a lot of blood on the streets. Like Bitcoin, it had a little bit of a hiccup. We lost a little bit on price action. I know we were playing around right around that 70K level, and things have just been breaking down since. I was looking at the charts just on the monthly. We had that moment where we were right at $71,000, and it's been a downhill ride since then. We've seen so many different altcoins with gigantic haircuts, like absolutely big corrections. Now, I really I want your opinion, because I want to get kind of your expert thoughts. I love your TA. Where do you think Bitcoin is headed just over the next, say, 2 months? We got the month of July, we got August. We're kind of approaching that a hot moment of the election. Where do you think Bitcoin's going to try to go over the next few here?
Well, I think, in order to put things into perspective, let's take a look at some historical data, shall we? We take a trip down Bitcoin halving lane.
Yes.
So if we go back all the way back to May 11th, 2020, we had the third Bitcoin halving, and then we sat there in 20%, 77-day range till we had a little bit of a breakout. Then we sat there in another 20%, 86-day range for a grand total of 163 days or 6-ish months before really going parabolic. And then going back to July 9th, 2016, we had our second Bitcoin halving. We sat in another rather boring 40% range for 160 days. Then we broke out and sat in another 50% range for 120 days for a grand total of 280 days or 9 months before we really went parabolic. So now we're only 60 days after our current halving, and so far we've been drowning this 26% swing range of eternal monotony. And I'm not sure if anyone wants to hear this, but we've still got quite a ways to go before we see the parabolic phase of this bull run. Taking the average of both post halvings gives us roughly 221 days. Take away the 60 that has just passed, leaving us at about roughly 160 days or 5 months, which takes us to November-ish, right as the 5 cults that secretly run the world appoint their new puppets to make the gem pop feel like they have any control over what's about to happen to them. But there, I probably spoke too soon or too much, depending.
I love that.
Amazing.
So much. Oh my God. Are those your Muppets? Oh my God. Owen. Owen broke it again. Dude, that segment, I don't know what Owen is on over there. Unbelievable. It's just like, yeah. I mean, I thought,
amazing.
Those puppets look like you had literal control over the puppets. You know what I mean? Are you the cabal master? So that's some amazing things to keep in mind, right? Because I see so many people disillusioned. We see the attention once again falling into the gutters. You know what I mean? Like the average person, they're not getting on. They're not watching what crypto's doing day to day, because, I felt like over the past few months, we've become essentially, in my opinion, chaotically enough, I think we got a little spoiled with the ETF happening in congruence with that halving. And by all rights, like a year ago, I was thinking the bullish scenario was that we would pump up to $40,000 and then consolidate in that range. But I wasn't expecting an ETF. Now that it's been approved, we've been able to punch up to all the way to $74,000. We're sitting here ranging basically at the 60 and above. And essentially, I feel like we're just spoiled rotten brats. Everyone's complaining that we're not taking off to the moon, but we're really in that perfect time frame, and even better than perfect. If you compare it to the past cycles, building up this level of support at our previous all-time high, it's just something that, is beyond all of my hopes for Bitcoin. And I'm just operating off that similar mindset. When Bitcoin goes up, then the momentary halt on altcoins happens, which we felt. Bitcoin's at 64 and we got Cardano at 39 cents, or, all of these other fan favorite cryptos that are still yet to pump. And I really I'm treating this as a moment of opportunity. So this last pullback, I did reallocate a lot of positions, and it's going well so far. The last time I felt like doing this was before the big pump in September 23. Because all the way up till September 23, I was insulated to Bitcoin during the bear. Are you watching Ethereum at all? Because I'm very interested to see if Ethereum can catch up to Bitcoin's aggressive pace. It's still stuck below its previous all-time high, even though it does have an ETF approval now. Has the fanfare of the Bitcoin ETF approval taken away some of the oomph of Ethereum's break onto Wall Street, or do you think it's just kind of loading for that moment?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword because there's a couple of unpopular opinions. The first one is, will the Ethereum ETF take the spotlight away from the Bitcoin bull run just for a few moments? And is that enough to break that momentum for the retail noobs to come in? If there's all these ETF, all this institutional action, how does the normal average Joe get into it? And then my other unpopular opinion is that because Bitcoin is so high right now, let's just say you're the average guy trying to get into Bitcoin. Well, how much does it cost? And then the average guy says, oh, it's 65,000. And then most people think, well, you got to buy a Bitcoin, right? They're like, they sit on a shelf or something and you buy a Bitcoin. So they're like, 65K. Well, I'll never buy a Bitcoin. And then they take that retail money, the $250 to $2,500, and they put it into meme coins. So part of my fear of this bull run is that we lose a great deal of retail into meme coin getting wrecked. So for instance, meme coins, it's like a lottery. There's a few that will make like history on a meme coin, and then the rest kind of get wrecked. So when you get the retail in and get wrecked, they're never coming back. They'll get such a bad taste in their mouth that they'll be like, F that. And so I kind of feel the same way with the Ethereum ETF. Personally, I don't hold any Ethereum because I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm just a human minimalist. And I feel that Vidi Boo Boos has some growing up to do. And left to his own device as life happens, whether he falls in love, gets his heart broken, I think that's very detrimental to that project if he is in charge. Now, I'm not sure how in charge he is, but I get the feeling that he's pretty much in charge.
That's an interesting take. The human aspect, the interjection of human aspect into Ethereum, leaving it a little bit more exposed.
Think about when you were 16 and you got your first girlfriend head over heels in love, right? And then she broke your heart. No one tells you or teaches you how to fix a broken heart. It's something that you have to develop, and you get good at it as you get experience in life. Vidi Boo Boos doesn't strike me as the type of guy that had a lot of experience with women. Yeah. So now that he's a billionaire and some supermodel comes, sweeps him off his feet, takes him for who knows, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then breaks his heart, he may never recover. Look, think about your most devastating heartbreak, how long it took you to recover. Now put yourself in charge of $1 billion asset that's about to explode. You know what I mean?
That is an interesting thing to think about. And also the human aspect of it. I always was warning that any blockchain with like a center point of control or person at the helm are black baggable by any government that just decides they don't like them and they just happen to be in their jurisdiction. Very interesting thoughts there, Maddie. So
Vidi Boo Boos is Vitalik Buterin.
Vidi Boo, yes. Yeah, I mean, he's big D sweatpants young man, in charge of the essentially a third of the crypto market right now. It's absolutely incredible. Now we're sitting at a pretty interesting point. Like, is there a point this year? We have some interesting things and some pretty problematic data that just broke today about housing starts falling off a cliff in the United States. And we see some of the cracks within the macro economy start to shine and really bust a light through the scene as the Fed has kept its interest rates high, trying to stave away inflation. Now, do you think that I think, at large, this is a two-edged question. One, do you think that the United States will cut interest rates by either one or two? Any rate cuts coming this year, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the rate cuts will come in a heartbeat. It's just like they kind of did in 2020. It's like no rate cuts, no rate cuts, no rate cuts. And then they just get a succession of bad news or good news, whatever they want to implement. And then boom, we'll get that rate cut. And I think it's going to come out of nowhere. Like it could be next month. It could be the month after. But the more predictions it is, like December is going to get a rate cut. I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think they're going to have a hard turn the last second.
Okay. And now there's a lot of macro folks on either side of the fence, but a lot of them are saying that the rate cut would actually mean that the S&P 500 would pull back hard and that risk assets like Bitcoin would pull back hard. I have a hard time really believing that? I mean, what is your opinion? Do you think if they do put this rate cut, it'll go the opposite way instead of Bitcoin starting to make a move up because risk assets look juicier, or would it go down because it shows that the economy is weaker than everyone thought it was?
Well, historically, I mean, we pause, we pivot, then recession, right? So now it depends how married Bitcoin is to, the legacy TARD-FI stocks. So if they go down, Bitcoin may go down, but historically it's pause, pivot, recession. So you got to keep your eyes out, just like anything, when there's big news that's supposed to shock the market, it usually shocks it the wrong way, dumps everyone off, and then takes off because the market doesn't want to take all the retail with them, right? It just wants to take the insiders.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the weird moment we're in right now, where we're essentially at a stagflationary moment. In the US, we are starting to see auto dealers come down on their prices to try to get things to move again. Because essentially it was a Mexican standoff between, auctions and dealers. No one was out there buying at the rates that were currently available at the on the auto loan side, and the auctions were having to sell them for much more than the dealers were willing to pay. So over the last month, I've seen that kind of change, and some auctions are actually starting to move some inventory now. Well, man, all right. So there's a lot to think about here. In your opinion, is it wise to look at altcoins as well as Bitcoin, or how do you approach your portfolio balance? You know what I mean? Because that's part of what a lot of people are going through as well. Is should I just stay insulated to Bitcoin, or is it time to start exploring altcoins before an alt season comes?
Well, the interesting thing about the auction I'm actually an auctioneer on Thursdays for it's called Open Lane. I think it's throughout North America.
Okay.
Yeah. But I always, on my channel, I always talk about the auction the next day because I feel like the car industry is like a canary in the coal mine as far as what's happening. And so for this past year, it's gotten slower and slower and slower to the point where last week was maybe the last week I'm going to do it until summer because the volume of the cars is so low, which means historically in an auction this size, you have the 8 families, the big car companies, like whatever, Chevy, Hyundai, Mazda, they sell off their leases to the secondary line of, Jim's car and trailer or whatever. So we can't, the auctioneer being the market maker just has a hard time getting the inventory to and from. So it's just slowly coming down. So I think it's a good indicator of where the economy is right now. And it's not doing so well, but we all know that.
I know.
And we don't need these silly numbers that come out every day to know that inflation is skyrocketing. It's obvious if you're living life, right?
Pretty much, man. And that's the psyop we live through. You know what I mean? We're told everything's going great. Jobs are so great. Meanwhile, they're fudging data. We even got bad data. It looks like they miscounted by 700,000 jobs added for some of their data. So there's a little bit of a back work to do. And some pretty worried comments coming out of Federal Reserve governors today about that missed data. Matty B, I mean, what a time to be alive. I'm still looking for this big breakout. Now on Bitcoin dominance, one last question for you. We're sitting right at around a 55, maybe up to 60 Bitcoin dominance in the short term. But we have an ETF now. So an ETF is probably going to have a lot more Bitcoin parked in it hard-sidedly than we've seen in the past, where people get out of Bitcoin and just start flowing into alts at the right time. I think it's the Bitcoin ETF is actually going to hold some Bitcoin in place, and we won't see as much flow down to the altcoins potentially. Where do you think Bitcoin dominance will go? Like, is there going to be a repeat of that breakdown in Bitcoin dominance before alt season, or is it going to hold a little bit stronger now that institutionals hold ETFs?
Well, I think it's dependent on how much we see retail, right? So I agree with you. I don't think the institutions are going to be dumping to get into all these speculative alts, right?
We got to buy
not going to get a call. Right. There's not going to get a call from their advisor. It's like, well, as your financial advisor, I say, get out of this ETF and get into this meme stock right now. It's not going to happen, right? So I feel like when they say things are different now, that's why things are different. The ETFs are basically the front foot forward, and the retail, whether they come back or not, that's where we're going to see a limited amount of selling from the Bitcoin. But even if they get in at this point, I have two bullish scenarios, and without these two bullish scenarios, I'm not that bullish actually right now, but because I understand where we are, we're going to sit here in this sea of Yanacopia forever. But I believe in the cycles. And so that's what keeps me bullish despite the boredom. And the boredom will kill you. It'll drive you crazy. But if you subscribe to the cycles that have never really failed us before, I mean, that's what's going to take us to that next level. It's what's going to get you through a little bit of vitamin P, and we'll get there.
There it is, man. Spoken like a true G. Well, Matty B, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on and get your insight. And for anyone that's not familiar, where can people find you and your streams and all of the stuff you do?
I stream at 8 a.m. Monday to Friday on YouTube, Rumble, and X now. So I go out to all three, trying to build up that Rumble just in case YouTube and I have a moment's disagreement. I have to go to Rumble.
You know what? Me and you both. We're probably going to have to, I'm going to have to build out Rumble a little bit more. I feel that's coming. The closer we get to elections.
Always love the blockchain basement.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, Matty. And say hello to Duke for me. You know,
Will do.
Hopefully that family's doing good, brother. I'm looking forward to having you back on.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
Right. See you, Ben. God, that guy's awesome. Absolutely love Matty B. What a G. He's got a lot to say about the markets, and really the subscribing to the 4-year cycle. I think that's where I can attribute my superpower of stubbornness to sticking to that 4-year cycle. Bitcoin Bandicoot C90FTW, just put it right above you. Make sure to follow Piano Matty B. Piano Matty B in his stream of Bitcoin TA with the piano going. That's what, like, I used to start every single morning listening to that guy. So before we get into all of this crazy altcoin and Federal Reserve news, let's have a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll be back in right a sec.
The Blockchain Basement is powered by Arculus. This is the world's leading crypto cold storage where you can easily secure, buy, swap, send, and receive all your crypto with a simple tap using 3-factor authentication to make sure to keep your assets safer than ever. Make sure to support the channel. Use code BASE10 and click the link down in the description to get your hands on your security today.
All right, we're back here. Now, there's a lot to go over in meme coins. I got a lot of different things highlighted. One of these things, just to get it started, hilarious post from Tucker Carlson. We'll check out the price graph after this, but let's have a listen.
What is the tick, 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 tick?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. But, sir, this is my life's work, and we're so close. Please, sir, I beg you, please, just let me finish what I started. I understand, sir. Consider it done.
Whoa.
And I guess this really is the beginning of the end for Dirty Gary Gensler, with the SEC officially closing its multi-year investigation into Ethereum. Yep, you heard that correctly. Poor Gary, I wonder how he's coping. Sayonara, Gary, and don't be too hard on yourself. You did your best. It just wasn't good enough. You lost. We won, and I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of going to miss you, buddy. You've been a worthy arch-villain. Anyway, we'll be back soon, but until then, the ticker is Tooker.
Very sad. Very sad. Very sad. Pour some out for Mr. Gary Gensler. Tucker Carlson, nice to see him putting videos out again. We may as well. That's just immediately prompting me to go to Deck Screener. Okay, I love Deck Screener. We're going in. I still hold my Tucker. Let's see here. Go in. I'm just curious on the price because I saw that it had fallen heavily. We're looking for a resurgence. This is the chaos of memes. It's still sitting here. We're looking at it yesterday, basically in the same position right here. So very risky. I'm already well risked and exposed, so I'm not worried about it at all. But you know what I mean? If this is a time frame where I didn't have any Tucker, looking for something juicy, the market cap's down to 18 mil. And they're actually putting a lot of pretty damn good content out there. So shout out to the team. This is coming. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, ASI. And I know a lot have gone over this, but we'll just give a quick brief for everyone that's unfamiliar. June 20th, 2024, the ASI, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, a collective comprising SingularityNet, Fetch AI, and Ocean Protocol, have today announced significant progress and updates on the ASI token merger. Scheduled for implementation starting July 1st of 2024, the token merger will be temporarily consolidating SingularityNet's AGIX token and Ocean Protocol's Ocean tokens into FET, or Fetch AI, before transitioning to the ASI ticker symbol at a later date. So that's important to note. Singularity and Ocean are going to be consolidated to Fetch first and then transitioned into the ASI ticker. This is something to keep an eye on. There is tons of excitedness on the markets, I can tell already, because you can tell the biggest rebounders from this, Fetch AI, Singularity, and Ocean, is not too far behind. It was all three of them. Let's see where Ocean is. Looks like it's fallen off a little bit. Let's see, Ocean Protocol. Do I got a little chance on Ocean? Because this thing was moving violently. Yeah, I mean, this is not too big of an upswing. That's not that bad, actually. And you know what? We're seeing a lot of not memes, but altcoins. Like, Morel, are you seeing this a lot on the yearly charts? We're seeing these like dire low levels nearly being hit once again, and then a hard bounce. You know what I mean?
80% of them.
80% of them, right? Yeah. And that's kind of the signals like, okay, this is a good moment for me. We should give
and plus tomorrow is full moon.
Full moon. You showed me the full moon graph. It's kind of nuts.
It plays.
All right, we're going to.
It plays.
Owen, make hook crypto crank up with a wrench in there, brother. Let's see here. I'm going to the full because it's an indicator.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go here. I'm going to get around having to sign into TradingView by just going into it from Coin Market Cap because I am a savage. Now we go to indicators. Is it full moon?
It's moon cycles.
Moon cycles. We're going to get
moon phases.
Moon phases. We're going to get all hippy dippy. Oh my God. Look at these. Look at how many.
Look at the up, down.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're up,
down,
up, down, up,
Damn.
down. What the hell? How did Marin lose, man? Like, this is insane.
So we're coming down right now. Full moon is tomorrow.
What is tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
So time to go up.
How in the hell did Marin lose? How did they?
So there is like what 2 cycles or phases ago, there is a divergence. We're supposed to go up. It went down. And then on the down, we went up. So it's not 100% accurate.
Maybe she was just like all in on one.
On the wrong one.
Right. This is incredible though. When you really,
I mean, if you just trade this, you can be profitable.
Here's the one that failed.
Yep.
The full. Or which one's the full? Is
this one that's the full moon. So that one failed.
Okay, so this is supposed to be up. This one.
No, that the blue one is down. Blue down, white
This
up.
is where it's wrong.
Yep.
And it didn't really fall. I mean, I guess. God dang, this thing is amazing.
You could just trade this and be profitable.
You could like win most low levered trades using this. This is ridiculous. So you say the full moon's tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be looking out for this, man. And you know, that's really weird because a lot of the regular TA people were saying that we were going to hard bounce on Friday.
And I forget if it's this Friday or next Friday, but Crown was saying it's the quad witching date where the futures, quarter futures, monthly futures, weekly futures, and all sorts of things come to an end.
Yeah.
And so everybody's counting on it.
Bob's being silly here. That's all. Give Bob a wrench too. Bob, you're getting a wrench. Unbelievable. You figure out what to do with the power. I don't know. Hannah's no longer with us, Banana Republic, and she's off just killing it. And I wish her all the best. And we're going to be supporting her all the way through. But she's off to different ventures. Last I heard, she was in LA or something like that. And we did have her at the pizza party, which is amazing. But thank you for the question. Now, this is insane, Morel. I am kind of excited about this. We're going to be watching this pretty closely, dude. Like, that's a pretty good track record. Wow. It's just, the world works in mysterious ways. So Chainlink talking about $867 trillion in value ready to be distributed by tokenization, and Chainlink platform is ready to help capture this market opportunity. The latest guide breaks down how blockchain tech and tokenized assets will be incorporated into traditional finance. Their quotes, the time has come for asset managers to start actively engaging with this expanding industry. From the managing director of global lead of emerging technology team at the BCG Platonium. This is basically, I'm needing to highlight this, you guys, because there's quadrillions of dollars in derivatives on the stock markets. A lot of people are basically kind of left out in the dark. They don't know how much money is actually just synthetically represented and, is really not backed by anything. So this is something to keep in mind. And I know it's a huge number. We probably won't see, over 100 trillion or over even 20 trillion within this next bull market. But at large, for the long-term outlook of this, they are looking to move all of assets into a tokenized fashion. And that's essentially to make everything more accountable, more seamless. But within this process, we're here in the basement because we're mega patriots, and I got to make sure that they don't overstep this move into tokenization, because then we can get the weird stuff like China and their expiration dates on money, right? There's a very fine line between, oh my gosh, this is so great, I made $1 million, I'm buying a Resvani, to holy cow, I disagreed with Joe Biden on a Twitter post and now I can't feed my family, right? It's a very, very fine line. So just keep that in mind. But the RWA move, that is a big, big narrative building up. And here's a DeFi investor just on the biggest news this week. We had SEC closing that investigation into ETH. Layer Zero launching its token today, 8.5% of its supply allocated to an airdrop. Talking to you, like Layer Zero, I've been excited about for quite some time. Oh my God, is Meanless back? No, he's not. Is that Meanless?
They're saying that's Banana
Meanless.
Republic.
That probably is Meanless. Meanless?
Remember what happened last time, Meanless?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, I was about to. Okay, I'm gonna get mean. I don't want to be mean. I'm not going to do it. The Layer Zero project, I've been excited for its interoperability, what it's going to offer crypto at large, making things more seamless to move into. Seamless, meanless. God, everything rhymes. Everything rhymes! Layer Zero, let's just check it out. I'm honestly feeling like snagging up this pain. There's a lot of complaints going out about how the airdrop was done, and a lot of people that felt like they missed out on it. This $3.68, it's even lower than, oh wow, how did that happen? Lower than the release point. This is that token release sell-off moment that we are very used to seeing in new tokens. Now on this one, it's kind of my rule of thumb to basically wait about a week to 2 weeks to really get a good understanding of how much of these early investors are going to be selling off before I decide to move into it. I want to see that first initial sell-off before I buy the trough. So this may not be the actual trough. If the markets, if Bitcoin sneezes, say down to 63,000, even worse, 60K or something like that, this thing will go much lower in the meantime. So I'm going to buy Layer Zero, but just a matter of when. And oh my God, Zachary Martin with the rumor, unbelievable, bro. You know, Meanless almost won a election in our comment section to become a mod, like nearly. Like he had to go through an election, and I just handed out
would
to
have gotten canceled permanently.
Well,
if that would happen,
pretty much. You know, he needs the uwu stuff. You know what I mean? I started it. Who am I going to kid? I started it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, yeah. I would always say that. And then it turned into, you know, it keeps going. So
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Now, the other stuff happening in crypto this week, the P-Stake Finance launched its Bitcoin liquid staking testnet on Babylon. EigenLayer relaunched a phase 2 of season 1 Eigen airdrop. A 01 Labs proposal to extend DEAI vesting schedules for the team validators has passed. This one, though, got me damn excited. Jupiter Exchange proposing to reduce the total supply of Jupiter by 30%. 30% of the supply looks like they're going to try and burn. I bought the, you know, I got to stop giving up my secrets here. I got to stop giving away my secrets for free. You know what I mean? I need to get Owen a paycheck is really the goal here. So, you know, I'm going to have to start locking it up. But you know now, I bought Jupiter at 73 cents. If they burn 30% of the supply, Holy God, that's a lot. So currently there's only 1.3 billion out. There's 10 billion total tokens. So if they burn 30% of the supply, that's taken out what is that? What's the 3
billion.
What is this? I'm having a brain fart. 300. Is that?
No, it's 3 billion.
That's 3 billion, right? Yeah. Okay. So 3 billion tokens at large. The price hasn't really moved on the news yet, but it dug itself well out of this trench. I'm feeling damn bullish about it. And if you look at the yearly, this is the type of graph I'm looking for, folks. And I acted on what I'm looking for. I went to the yearly, saw this amazing opportunity. All of these people just jeeting this thing, running for the hills, scared noobs. And I decided to hammer into this thing because of the release point being pretty similar to our current price. So if I can hold off and wait to get that entry point, you're damn right I'm doing it. I use Jupiter all the damn time, and I'm in it finally with a good hold and a bag. Shout out to Blockchain Report. Thank you for the super chat, first of all. So happy today I was able to work with a Flashbot team to save my Layer 0 airdrop from being from a hacked wallet. 700 zero tokens saved. That's a good grab right there. Big grab. That's awesome. Give him the love. You know what I mean? Give him the love. That is pretty amazing. So that
It usually doesn't happen.
I know, right? You love hearing stuff like that. And that's like what it matters to like have people that you're surrounded by that are willing to help. You know what I mean? And willing to get involved because, crypto, it's kind of like that inhuman experience. If you're not part of a community, you don't really get to talk to anyone really like directly.
You have to find a tribe.
You have to find the tribe. We were talking, and like, if I was to be doing anything else in the world, I could be running an excavator and I'd be sitting there trying to explain crypto to Bill on the excavator, and he wouldn't care. You know what I mean? He'd be talking to a brick wall. So
most of your family doesn't care, so definitely Bill wouldn't care.
Yeah. Isaac,
Sir.
have you made any crypto moves over the last few weeks here?
No, besides getting out of my little meme coin
You
area
did?
because I got out of it. I took profit though, which was great, by the way.
That was a Scoot token, yeah?
That was a Scoot token, and I did another Scoot token. Scoot Dog and Scoot Cat, both great picks. Made like $250.
Little up and come. You start with like $6 though.
Yeah.
You're doing a challenge, don't
That's
cut
amazing.
yourself. I only made $200 off $6, just like unbelievable. You know what I mean? Think about it, if you're working with 10 G's and you pull that same kind of stuff off. But the stress level, you can just times that by 1,000. You know what I mean? Like the sweat, you'll be sweating bullets. Now, other things that make us sweat bullets in the world, things I have to acknowledge, is that NATO is moving into East Asia. Fantastic. Washington hosted one of the most significant shifts in the world's security architecture since the collapse of the Soviet Union on April 11th. Unprecedented trilateral summit brought together U.S. allies, Japan, and the Philippines, setting the stage for a spectacular shift in Asia's Sino-American balance of power. This is kind of they have to have taglines for everything. Okay. You know what I mean? They have to have like that little the cool little what do you call it? Like acronym? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're NATO, they need Sino, they need all the different things.
It's so crazy.
This is a problem though, folks. Why this is a problem is that we're setting up NATO locations south of Russia and China and essentially trying to surround them with countries that are already wanting to be friendly to NATO. Well, guess what? They're going to be housing F-16s here in a minute, because the world is setting up for the Third World Championship. This is not a good sign. And for God's sakes, this is why world governments are not the way. Now this, insane. The future of electric vehicles will be made by American union workers. This is from Joe Biden. Greg.
I love Greg.
Pulled a 3-to-1 ratio on him. Look at this. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk already makes them in America.
I love Greg. He's the best.
Pretty amazing. Deucey, talking about the Bump Coin Gecko approval link. Deucey, I looked at that link. That's actually for the creator of Bump themselves to go in and create the application. And I believe it's already been done for Bump. So it's not really like we can't really raise our hands and demand it as holders of Bump. I know what you're talking about, though. But you know what? Bump is actually picking up. Like I'm starting to see a bunch of tweets about Bump from people I have no idea who they are.
Love it.
That's what I love to see. You know what I mean? Because that thing is like ground floor. Like if we make it and you believe in the basement and we actually pull this off, that is stupid.
Yes.
Stupid money. What would happen there? So shout out to all the micro cap holders along with me in the trenches that are here. Psycho handing a bag of bump. Let's see where we're at right now. Hopefully we didn't rug live on air. What is this? This is the other bump. That's not the right bump. Let's go to bump. It's not the right bump. Bag with Coke. That's the right bump. 175. Not bad. I was very glad to see this because when we lost this level, I was like, oh boy, it's going to be a quick ride to hell on this one. Now it looks like it's sitting here bouncing and trying to actually find some support at around $170,000, $180,000 market cap. Now, if you're not risk averse, for God's sakes, run the other way. If you're like me and you send it, full send, then I'm in it. I'm hodling. Now, this insane CDK cyber attack shut down auto dealerships across the United States. A company that provides dealers across the U.S. with software for managing sales and other services has been hacked, prompting the company to temporarily shut down most of its services, affecting 15,000 car dealerships from making sales. General Motors dealerships rely on this system, as does Group 1 Automotive, an auto retailer with hundreds of dealerships across the U.S. Holman, with dealerships in 8 states, is another CDK client. This is why we need blockchain to protect our internet infrastructure. This is just more reasons why we need blockchain to protect digital infrastructure. It's just such outdated garbage systems. Like the traditional market is running on systems that were developed 20, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? The S&P 500. It's kind of crazy to think that that's the way it is with how advanced people that are looking to arbitrage it are at this point, right? Like you would think we'd take that a little more seriously, especially with quadrillions of dollars in derivatives on the line. Like if those get margin called, there's nothing backing them up. It's a quick ride to hell on those. You know what I mean? That's why being in bump doesn't worry me as much as, trying to rely on a bank holding on to my money. That's a house of cards. It's going to have a breaking point. And I don't want to be there when it does, but I think it's going to actually happen. And now the official statement about the cyber attack from the Findlay Auto Group, operating out of Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, Washington, and Idaho, identified cybersecurity issue affecting certain areas of its IT systems, and they had to shut her down as well. So very, very interesting to see that happening. Hopefully the powers that be pull their heads out of their ass and make sure that they protect customer data and the literal economy at large. Like this is crazy that it's still going on. This is from Walter Bloomberg. U.S. May housing starts are down 5.5% to 1.2 million. The consensus was it was going to be up by 1.5%.
That's a huge number.
That's a big difference, right? Oh, we thought it was going to be up by like maybe 1, maybe 2%. Oh, nope. Actually, we're down
by 4 times the other way.
It's, not great. And, building permits, the permits that are being laid out to actually start construction, down 3.8% to 1.3 mil, the rate in May. This is just absolutely insane to see this pullback. And really the sentiment for home buyers is about as bad as it's been since the housing collapse, like 2011, right? We can compare the sentiment of the average home buyer to 2011. That's right after what they called the big one of our generation, the U.S. recession in 2008 to 2011. Essentially, the sentiment for people and buying homes right now is just as bad as that moment. That just tells you how broken and all over the place these data points are that we're receiving. Really, the only thing that I can expect on the traditional finance side at this point is chaos, especially when you have your government lying to you about the employment levels. We have this from E.J. Antoni, a PhD. Job growth was overestimated by more than 770,000 jobs last year. Put that differently, in about 1 in every 4 jobs that was supposedly added last year never existed. That's like completely eliminating all of the jobs gained in 3 whole months of 2023, and it's gone. So now the Fed's got to revise their data. Holy shit, we were doing this high interest rate on the idea that the labor market's still strong and still resilient, right? You remember all those words? Whoops. You missed counting nearly 1 million jobs that were eliminated during that same time frame. Just complete shit show. And another reason and another place where blockchain can go in and actually fix the aggregation of this data, hence Chainlink, folks. The RWAs are going to make a huge difference in humanity, hopefully for the better when it comes to that. Now this. We got a lot of macro chaos going on. Japan yen is on track for its lowest close against the US dollar in nearly 34 years. Japan is a major trading partner to the United States. Their valuation of their currency is falling off a cliff when they compare it to the US dollar, meaning that they have less buying power. And honestly, that is not a good thing to have happening for one of your main trading partners here in the United States. That's a complete mess. What are they talking about poon in the chat for? What is this? I can't afford the poon either. I wonder what he's talking about.
Well, earlier they were talking about my hairstyle. So
They're talking about your
poon will come
hairstyle?
to me.
The poon. Well, that is the hairdo. You know, it's like you just like I saw
Papa
this.
Goose.
It was like Barron Trump's social media team probably looks like a bunch of dudes exactly like you.
Probably, but
You
I'm
know what I
cooler.
mean? They got the swooping
There's a
hair
difference.
going on. I've been there. I know how it is. You know, in my younger years, I had the swoop. I was cool once. I looked like Jim Morrison one time.
I just need, I need the hair to headbang.
Yeah, well,
You know, big-
that's true. That's true. And you know what? If you learn how to headbang with a little bit of hair, you're going to be great with a lot of hair. That's what they say. So not looking good for the Japanese yen. Not as good as Isaac's hair. Owen's kind of got the same haircut. Owen, give a shot of your hair. You kind of have the same haircut. Like
Is he offended?
You have like more of a combed version of it. Well, it's like kind of the same length. It's like short in the back. That's true. I mean, Owen, I just offended Owen. I just triggered Owen. I just triggered him. Unbelievable.
He doesn't want your paycheck anymore, man.
I had to sauce you up, Owen. You can't even defend yourself. You don't have a mic. This is from Visual Capitalist. Nearly half of population under 34 are unable to cover their needs for at least a month without income. This explored, they have a sponsor, LR Foundation, but it's a Visual Capitalist post talking about how many young people have enough income to make it through more than a month if they lost their job. A vast majority of the people that exist in this demographic right now would be absolutely wrecked. If they lost their job, they do not have the amount of money in the savings to make it through that time frame to get hired out. This is a major, major problem. We've been inching on this barely making it paycheck by paycheck existence. Now we're at the average person is making it happen by using credit cards to keep afloat. And that's why we see the credit card debt skyrocketing to the upside. People are burying themselves just trying to exist. This is why we need the escape of crypto and altcoins and Bitcoin for the upside. There is no running away from this situation. You cannot just turn a blind eye and hope that the Federal Reserve makes it better. They're not making it better. They literally do not care about us until the banks themselves are ready to go under. But there are some things happening. U.S. retail chains are shuttering stores at an alarming rate amid this inflation surge. And on top of that, you know, you get inflation, people can't buy anything, you get an increase in crime. Fantastic. So we have many, many stores shutting down across the United States at an unprecedented rate for 2024. Nearly 3,200 brick and mortar stores shut down the first half
I
this
had
year
no
alone.
idea it was that high.
It is insanely high because all of the commerce, you're leaning into this, Morel, because you're on that, you work online, you're able to start up
do
stores
stores and,
online. You know, you're right in the mix of this. And these brick and mortar retail locations, they're getting crushed because the economy is moving online. And they're not willing to kind of change their approach. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Overholding on inventories that they don't move fast enough. Less people going out to purchase. This represents a staggering 24% increase compared to the same period last year. Simultaneously, major retailers have announced 4% fewer store openings, signaling a shift in the retail landscape. Let's look at some of the biggest losers. Dollar Tree? If Dollar Tree is having a problem selling products, you know you got problems.
The Walmart across the street, I go in to buy tasty cakes.
Yeah.
They were only selling expired ones.
What?
They're only selling expired ones.
Well, they're sitting on inventory too long.
Yep,
They can't move
they're
them.
only selling expired
And that's
ones.
one of the top retailers. That's
Yep.
no mom and pop like on Main
And
Street,
this
overlooked.
has been expired for, I think, 3 months now.
You didn't buy them, did
No,
you?
I bought them one time and threw them out, and then I check every time I go in, expired each time.
You know, at least they better give you a deal if it's expired. Because I got a strong gut. I could probably handle it. You know what I mean?
3 months though.
3 months is a little much.
It's just like, you can't sell that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you could legally sell that.
They're doing whatever they can, man. If you have Dollar Tree grappling with the dual threat of inflation and people shoplifting from Dollar Tree, this is just a telltale sign of where this average person is at right now. 600 Family Dollar locations shutting down, the highest number among retailers so far this year. So Dollar Tree is leading the charge when it comes to shutdowns. Tupperware, the iconic container company, revealed plans to shut down its U.S. factory in South Carolina, eliminating 148 jobs in September as well, and shifting production to its Mexico plant. It's like everything that people found employment for is just seeming to move out
I
of
think
the country.
Toyota shut down a factory too.
Yeah, man, it's not looking good. Like, you're seeing this amount of shutdowns. You know, this is very bad news. Now, the Fed's having to face it. The Feds, this is from The Hill, must lower rates and upgrade flawed data to stay effective. Let's read into this. Jay Powell, chairman of the Fed Reserve, announced last week the board had decided to keep the rate unchanged despite cooling inflation data from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics that morning of. This was a grave mistake that will perpetuate the depression in the housing sector. It will prevent many Americans from buying a home because of high mortgage rates and also dissuade industry from making capital investments, keeping interest payments on a national debt high, and dampening economic growth all at the same time. This is a very, very bad combination of information. Furthermore, the longer the Fed waits, the faster and longer Powell will have to ease the rates by this fall. And that means if they push this to the very edge, the last minute, and then cut the rates down, they're going to have to do it in a big, monumental fashion that'll really shock a lot of people that thought that there was any ounce of financial responsibility left at the Federal Reserve. I've been here saying that there's not, that they're literally just scamming you and pushing this cart down the road as far as they can without you looking over. But if this continues and they keep this PSYOP up, they're going to have to cut rates in a monumental fashion. That is going to be some fireworks and kind of all in time with the election. It's incredible how that all works. Right a few months before the election, all of a sudden they're going to cut rates, inject all of this hope into the American people, and then slap them in the ass and send them to the polls. So fantastic world we live in.
Liquidity grab.
I know, it's a liquidity grab. Yes.
Liquidity grab.
Don't be election liquidity. That's what that means. You know what I mean? Don't be election liquidity. We got to be careful about talking about the election, though, man. We're going to get shut down. We're going to get shut down.
Yeah.
Like, should we just get shut down, you guys? Probably, since Hannah's not here, we might as well just shut down, right? Like, they may as well just cut our channel off. Unbelievable.
Rumble.
Rumble is amazing. I like the people on Rumble. Now, this is insane, you guys. An 18-year-old from the University of Florida Gators commit Oliver Rio. Is that Rio or Riox? Rio, right?
Rio.
Is now listed as a 7'9", 8 inches taller than Shaq, and he appears to be able to still function. This kid is an absolute monster.
And of course he plays the IMG account.
Look at this guy.
He took 3 steps down the court.
I mean,
he doesn't have to jump.
He's gonna crush it, bro.
He doesn't have to jump.
I'm pretty excited. Owen, are you excited about this kid? You just punched yourself into the show. You have something to say? Yeah, there it is.
That was an accident.
That was an accident?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm pretty excited. Yeah, have you ever, if anyone's been to what is it called? The Ripley's, believe it or not, the biggest guy that they have on record was Robert Waldo, I think his name was. And he was about right around 8 feet, 11 inches tall. This guy, this kid, 18 years old, is 8 inches taller than Shaq at 7'9". He's getting up there, man.
That's,
Absolutely incredible. Like, there should be a token about this kid. Did I just do something? The way that the silence just befell, but it's not happened yet. We could see something like this. Just a thought. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
This is a real cheap fake. came out from the White House today, highlighted Karine Jean-Pierre talking about cheap fakes. Well, here is one so cheesy, so fake, but there you go. She's asking for it. She's saying cheap fakes. You know, the internet responds, man. It's the way it happens. Sorry about you. So now let's check out people asking me about Aerodrome. Got all kinds of people just real worried about Aerodrome. Me, not so much. I actually doubled down on the Aerodrome holds. This is incorrect because it's actually a lot more by now. Aerodrome has been given up quite a bit, but if you notice, we're on this original shelf here. Basically, the bottom of the shelf is at 66 cents. So until we break below this, I am not freaking worried at all. Honestly, I'm pretty darn excited to have this big pullback because I am still of the opinion that base is going to outpace the rest. And Aerodrome, Velodrome, all those wonderful things within it, I think are going to do great. And that's kind of why I like Bump so much. You know what I mean? Or just all the base meme coins. I really think that, you know, Solana, I get rugged way more often on Solana.
Yeah.
Way more often. You and me are always messing around in meme coins. Even Isaac with this Scoot adventure, you know.
Yeah.
We're always getting into meme coins. The hard thing about Solana meme coins is that you soul scan them and the average one is just it's garbage. You know what I mean? So I prefer base stuff. You know, Aerodrome, I'm still holding, still believing, and added to my stack, and not worried about a damn thing, honestly, you guys. So it's up to, you know, all of you to do your own research. I'm doing as I do, and I'm going to start locking down my moves when I hammer back into projects or add to positions to the membership level stuff, because I need to find a way to get Owen a paycheck someday. It's going to happen. I believe in it. I really believe in it. But the other big grabs, let's see if there's any pain in the markets that we could take advantage of before we get out of here. Notcoin pulling back pretty well on Notcoin and ZK Sync. Let's check out Notcoin. This might be a moment here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'd say Notcoin still has some room to correct down to around 12 cents. So I might hold off on that one. Let's check out Arweave as well. This one is part of the AI whole spiel. I think AI tokens are going to be the supercharged way for gains this bull. Damn, Arweave looking good. Damn, Arweave looking good right now. Look at this. So you punched down, you tried to break through this twice in about April 2024, failed right at about $24. We're at 27 bucks right now. Probably gonna have to, I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do. I keep wanting to give it away for, you know what? Yeah, I got to be a little bit more protective because, you know, I'm trying to build this damn show out. I'm trying to bring this information to the masses. And now I have another person to give a paycheck to, Isaac. It's just unbelievable. You know, he's looking at me side-eyed and everything. He's like, what? You know.
I've mentioned before how I would do this 100% for free.
No, well, I didn't listen. I didn't listen to that. You know, I think that the expectation for crypto people to just give their guts on their sleeve for free is a chaotic and idiotic thought. You're putting your ass on the line. You're making calls. I basically have to live in the news cycle and charts simultaneously to have any sort of accurate outlook on the markets, because this is insane chaos that we're in right now. As of right now, this is even more bullish than I thought. We are building support above our basically line of $60,000, folks. There's nothing to fear for me, myself. I'm leaning into the danger. The bags are even heavier than they were a few weeks ago, and I've been taking profits along the way. Started a cash run in business. I'm trying to lead by example, and I hope that all of you are taking action for yourselves and for your families to take advantage of these markets. And I appreciate every single one of you that are part of the cornerstone of what makes up this community and this channel. And please, if you have the need to get a cold wallet, support the channel. We are brought to you by Arculus. This is the world's leading cold storage platform where you can easily secure, buy, swap, send, and receive all your crypto with a simple tap. It's fantastic, so easy. My mother can do it. So we're going to go lift. I hate today because it's leg day. I hate you, Isaac, because you told me it's leg day. You're cool, Morel. And Owen, you know I like you. You know I like you. But I'll see you guys in the morning. Maybe. Actually, you know what? No. I'm coming back 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'll see ya. Peace out.